gorgeous little cherubs. I'm going to share something really special with you today. I've been in Blue Peter mode again because my brain is always whirring and gigging about. Even in the middle of the night, I have to keep a notepad just in case I come up with a brainwave in the middle of a dream or something. Anyway, I've come up with this wonderful idea because I've gone to bed a couple of nights this week feeling really, really worried about some of the phone calls with parents I've had and a lot of the emails that I've been getting, just asking for help for their young adults, teens, children with PDA, pathological demand avoidance, mostly, which is on the kind of, I hate all this higher functioning, lower functioning, but it's kind of on the higher functioning end of autism, pathological demand avoidance. The kids who are born with this are often extremely bright and their brains are going at 100 miles an hour. Also with parents with kids with ADHD. So I thought, and OCD as well. So I've got lots and lots of different things I can do about that, and I've shared them on previous videos before. If you want to have a look and click the little thumb and say yes, 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 the upwards thumb that is, not the downward one. And I love you forever. So I've shared quite a few ideas before, but I thought this is a really lovely one to share because lots of kids who I work with and families who have ADHD, pathological demand avoidance, and even OCD like touch. They love the touch because, as I've discussed in previous videos, touch is long proven to boost immunity, build your resilience to stress, help you have better physical health, better mental health, bonding, more emotional intelligence, empathy, compassion, gets all those higher brain functions whirring. It's endless, the list. And this has all been proven since the 1950s when the first controversial experiments were carried out about touch. And the leaders in the field today are my lovely friend Tiffany Field, Darlene Francis, Michael Meaden. I'd love to get them all over for dinner, you know. Oh my God, I'd cook them a big Italian meal. So they've all proven lots and lots and lots about the benefits of touch. And luckily, even in spite of COVID, it's more in demand than ever between family and friends because of the boosting immunity and how to calm these very, very anxious children who one minute have to take 1 or 2 months to get used to COVID, corona, and then the next minute we're in this in-betweeny state and they don't know, you know, where they are. I don't know where I am half the time, it keeps on changing. And now they're talking about there may be a second spike and we're having local lockdowns in the UK. Again, we're going back to that. So if we're confused, you can imagine for a child who's anxious or who wants to be in control of things, they're going to be really, really super anxious at the moment. And so the conversations I've had with parents, which led to my little brainwave in the middle of the night, because they all come to bed with me, you know. That sounded a bit rude. Obviously, I'd have to have a gigantic bed. What I mean is, they're always in my head. They're always in my head. I take everybody who I speak with at heart and want to help them more. I want to be more because I meet so many inspiring people. So my little brain never stops whirring, even though I've got a tiny little head. I've got this big brain that's thumping about till all hours trying to help. So I've come up with this amazing thing, combining touch, but also with that element of needing to be in control. Because if you put a child in control of something, a child with pathological demand avoidance or ADHD, autism, it builds their trust with you. It puts them in charge. And what I've come up with is a little box of massage strokes. And I'm not just going to plug my book because I feel really uncomfortable doing that. But my son James took all the photos of me massaging you, Ollie. Even then I was kidnapping you. And his back, look. Oh my God, look at him, his back. Ah, look at him. So, yes, Ollie posed for these photos of 3-4 years ago. And my son James took the photos. And I don't think I'm breaking copyright if I say, if you have a copy of my book, Indian Head Massage for Special Needs, I am super happy for you to photocopy the pictures, cut them out and put them in a box. And then your child can choose their favourite bits. How exciting is that? like a massage menu. I've even done that before. I've gone into schools and put an apron on and given kids menus with my massage strokes printed out. And then I take their orders. And everybody likes a little bit of dressing up, don't they? Let's face it. And then it encourages role play and empathy and teamwork, and it makes it fun. But they're getting these tremendous benefits, which is why I always say to you with everything I share with you, make it your own. Have fun. Have loads and loads of fun. Life is beautiful. You can't have enough fun. The other book, because I feel a bit uncomfortable I feel like I've just done a big book plug. The wonderful Mary Atkinson, who is the co-founder with Sandra Hooper of Story Massage. She's got an amazing book, Once Upon a Time. You could choose your favourite massage strokes from there. She's also written Healing Touch for Children. So what you could do when your child has established which are their favourite massage parts, techniques, because everything is an invitation. That's the key. That's the key. Everything is an invitation, especially with pathological demand avoidance. Keep everything as an invitation. You could even centre it around whatever people call it a fixation, which sounds a bit negative. What their passion is at the time. So say one of their favourite walks was, I learnt this as the bear walk in the massage programme for schools, but with Mary, I think it's just the walk. I blend everything, so you could say your child was fixated with dinosaurs. You could make it about dinosaurs. If they're fascinated with nature, you could make it a walk through nature and write that on your little thing in the box. And here we go. I'm going to show you now. Little shapes that I cut out at some ungodly hour. But also the children can help to cut out the shapes, and it gets them used to things. You know, diamonds, squares, circles, hexagons, octagons, if you really want to get creative. That also helps with the fine motor skills. Oh, I'm on a roll this morning, I'm on a roll. And Ollie's sitting here ever so patiently, like a statue, while I go on and on and on about this. So Ollie, I've put a few of Ollie's favourite ones in here today, because I know his favourite ones. Because I've worked on you for years, haven't I, Olls? And look at this lovely hair, can't wait. And so he's going to choose, what should we do, Ollie, 3 or 4?
4.
You choose them. Oh, before I forget, you thought you were in luck then. You thought I was going to actually start to do something with you. Just stay like that for a minute more, if you don't mind. He does need an OBE from the Queen for patience. Now, my therapy chalet is really sensory, and that's gorgeous. Not just for me, but for all the people who come here. So Ollie sat on a lovely furry beanbag, but you might have a furry rug. If your child loves nature, you might want to do it outside on a blanket on the grass. These really lovely fleeces, big woolly fleeces that you can wrap right up in. I think it was £10 from Amazon. I should make out I'm full of design stuff, but no, £10 from Amazon. And kids love it because they can squish it, they can wrap in it. You know, you make them as comfortable as possible, so then they're engaged. That's the key. It's all an invitation, and they're in control. I often say to the kids, you do know you're my boss for an hour, don't you? And they love it. Because let's face it, how often are we the boss of things in our own lives? We need to think about that one. Anyway, Ollie, choose, babe. So he has got, now this is Ollie's ultimate favourite one. Very often when we're watching a film, well, that's rare for me, but if we're doing something, we're outside, I'll suddenly get Ollie's big furry globe of a head in my lap, and he says, oh, go on, Mum, squeeze my hair. So we call this hair squeezes, and it's from my book, so he loves this one. And you're pushing your hands up through the hair and slightly lifting the scalp at the same time as lifting the hair. And what this does, and this is really fantastic for pathological demand avoidance, autism. It's really, really fantastic for mental health generally, and wonderful for ADHD, because apart from pushing all the blood and oxygen to the brain, you're actually whizzing the dopamine, my favourite, the hormone of motivation, focus, pleasure, reward, all the higher brain functions. Feel really gorgeous and polished and shiny and good to go, like cleaning your control panel. It's marvellous stuff. So Ollie loves this. So you can either go through the hair and make a ball, or you can go to the roots of the hair and squash the roots of the hair through the roots of your fingers. And you're slightly lifting the scalp. See, Ollie, it was worth the wait, wasn't it? You were sitting there so patiently, I don't know how you don't move. Oh. So you put up with a lot, my children. It must be mental having me as a mum. Let me flatten your hair down now so you look nice for the video. There you go. Right, so now choose another one. Another one of your favourites. We prepared this earlier. Hey! Neck squeezes. Now, Ollie loves having his neck squeezed. So, I've shown this to you before on previous videos. So you tilt the head forwards and you're going up like this in that motion. Always up from the base of the neck there, either side up. I'm just going to lift your bouffant for a minute. Sorry, I mean your hair. And you're making these little skin sandwiches all the way up. And what's so fantastic about this one, for PDA, pathological demand avoidance, autism, ADHD, the vagus nerve, the main nerve of the biggest nerve of the central nervous system, begins here and goes down either side of the neck. So when you're pushing up here, as I've shared with you in previous videos, you're actually pushing the dopamine up the vagus nerve, and you're keeping the heart rate and blood pressure nice and even. And Ollie needs loads of that coming to visit his mum. So Ollie's going to be calm all day and thinking, what a fantastic mum I have, even though she makes me sit like a statue while she talks a million to the dozen. Isn't that gorgeous, Ols? We got time for one more. Right, off we go. Another one of your favourites, Ollie. What have we got this time? What have we got this time? Hey, shoulder rubs. Shoulder rubs and squeezes. Again, I've shared this with you in a previous video, but you've got to stand like a warrior. You're fighting for your child. Always think of that. You're fighting for these amazing, gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, gifted, amazing children. Sorry if I said amazing twice. And you're pushing with your thighs, that motion, like beautiful waves breaking on the shore. I'm very visual when I do my massage, so I imagine that. That might help you because most people are visual learners. So you can make little stories from it if you've got a young child too. And then you go back with your fingers, and it's like that, back into the heel of your hand. And this one is incredibly grounding. And for kids with pathological demand avoidance, ADHD, where their heads are super, super busy, this brings them back into their bodies because very often they're just in their heads. So it's ever so grounding, and it really makes you feel safe. So if you have a child with OCD, again, this is a really beautiful one because it's almost, our shoulders are where we carry our load. We've got the saying, haven't we, carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. And so when you do this, it's just the most fantastic grounding way to feel back in your body, and you're releasing all that beautiful oxytocin, the hormone of love and nurture, the hormone that really boosts emotional intelligence. It leads to empathy, compassion. And if you have a child with autism, severe autism, who doesn't know where they end and outside begins, because they literally, it's like that, which is why those weighted blankets are fabulous. I had a little whiz about in one of those, marvellous. So when you go down like this, you're actually bringing them fully into their body and helping them know where they end and outside begins. And it's a nice way to finish a massage too. That's all we've got time for today, Ollie. I sound like a TV presenter.
Do a couple more.
We want to do one more. Sorry, everybody. One more. He deserves it. He did have to wait a long time while I was nattering earlier. But I like to share with you the science of why it works. Right, okay, so now, oh, look at this one. He has actually got the bear walk, which is what we were talking about before. And Ollie loves this one. Now, you don't go on the spine. go, and a gentle squeeze at the top is how I do it. It's up to you what you want to do. And it's ever so gentle. And what's particularly lovely about this one is that you're directly behind the gut, the second brain, the enteric brain. So this is really wonderful for taking people out of fight or flight, which a lot of kids with PDA, ADHD and autism very often survive on this fight or flight level. And there we are, Ollie. Isn't he lovely? My lovely boy. Anyway, I shall see you soon. Thank you ever so much for watching.